We've been on 3 Be the Wellness trips now. The first one was Costa Rica. The second one that we went on was to Peru. And then the latest one was to New Zealand. And we look forward to doing more. This was a beer-free trip.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a shocker for him, but luckily it was so much fun and it was so healthy that we decided we'd go again on a different one.
When you travel to some of these countries, you never know what kind of food is going to become available. In fact, you can kind of anticipate that it's going to be kind of challenging to find all the food that you want right at every moment that you want, and to have it planned out is pretty convenient. And to eat a paleo diet on a trip is, I think we agreed, made it better. We felt better and had a lot more energy during the trip. There's nothing that you would miss out on being on a healthy diet, say in New Zealand or in Peru. You're eating a lot of non-processed food, and healthy farm-to-table type living and eating is common in places like that. And
it makes it for a better experience. Yeah. In Peru, I remember one particularly challenging day. I think it was day 2 or 3, and I remember Mike was a bit ahead of me, Adam and Vanessa, and I was kind of struggling behind. I hike, but not these kind of destinations and altitudes, and I remember thinking, man, I hate this. When is this going to be over, And I crossed over this one part of a hill, and I see the rest of the group, and they're all hanging out, and I must have had this very sour expression on my face, but I look over at Vanessa, and she looks at me, and she's like, "Are you grumpy?" I'm like, "Yes!" And then we just started laughing so hard and hugged one another. And it was someone took a picture of us during this moment. I remember we both kind of laughing, had tears in our eyes, and it made it for such a human, memorable experience of all right, we're in this together and we're never going to forget it. And probably everyone else is feeling the same way, but we're all accomplishing something as a team. And it was I get it now, and all the pieces kind of fit.
On the New Zealand trip, we had a really great time skydiving. It was something I had never done before and never thought I was going to. But then we ran into one of our guides, turned out to be a friend of Vanessa's on one of the hikes, and she was a photographer for the skydiving company in New Zealand. And a couple days later, we met her at the skydiving flight place and took off, and that was my first time skydiving. It was awesome. And I did it next to Vanessa too. It was it was just a wonderful experience together that we'll never forget. It was great.
I was happy because I will never go skydiving, but I was so happy that my husband was able to do that and go with great people and have that memory. My best friend who was considering New Zealand and wasn't sure, and she was totally on the fence, and she was kind of going back and forth about it. And one thing I told her, being on the fence, I said, consider the fact that you're going to go with great people, you're going to eat some healthy food, you're going to have some adventures that are once in a lifetime, and you're going to come back way more fulfilled. And I said that coming from my own experience. And she did it. She did New Zealand with us, and turns out she came back and was that was awesome, and she was so happy that she was able to have that experience. It's really cool to have met like-minded people that also like to travel or into wellness or into healthy eating, into healthy living habits, and it's such a great community, a great find for us, and it gives us sort of a group dynamic that we don't always have when it's just us.
Every single one of the people I've encountered in the Be the Wellness community has been open-armed and embraced me and Karin as friends, and we've gone on every trip and met some of the best people we've ever met.
So what I think sets Be the Wellness apart from adventures from other trips for sure out there is, for me anyway, is just Adam and Vanessa. I click with them straight away right when I first met them, and just the energy and the knowledge they bring into these adventures, and the considerations they bring in about the people that are going onto it, and it's sort of like a personalized adventure. I don't think I've come across that before, and it's certainly, we've looked at group adventures before, but kind of found them boring, and these guys, never boring.
I bet if I even compared it with other tours, that it would not even compare to the level of dedication that Adam and Vanessa put into planning these trips and ensuring that everything goes smoothly from the breakfast to the dessert.